Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Claire Omutoni. I'm your host for today's show. And I want to wish you a happy week ahead. I hope your weekend was very, very productive. Mine was, but mostly I was watching the World Cup. And today I bring you the latest Manchester United news. No speculations, only facts. And today we're going to dive into everything that you need to know to stay ahead of the game if you're a Manchester United supporter. So without going any further or even delaying, because I have a lot to talk to you guys about, you have to first hit the subscribe button, because if you're a family, you have to confirm. We have to lock in, okay? I keep telling you guys this, lock in. But also, I really want to put this offer on the table. If you watch the show and you feel like you like what you're seeing or what you're hearing, let's connect genuinely, okay? I'm not the type to tell you, just open 2 seconds and then subscribe. No, let's build a genuine connection. And also, I would like to hear from you guys in the comments. Without further ado, let's get to today's show. Now, you all know Manuel Ugarte. This is a Manchester United player. We have bad news for you, because this player sustained an injury during a World Cup competition game, and he is Manchester United's midfielder, and he got the most serious, well, according to reports and according to Manchester United confirmation, he might be out most of the season, like last season. So during Uruguay's final 2026 World Cup group match against Spain, this guy suffered a serious knee injury after an awkward collision with a teammate. He was stretched off just before halftime and was visibly emotional. Now, the latest update: Manchester United have confirmed that Ugarte sustained a knee ligament damage, and he's currently undergoing further assessments to determine the full context of the injury and whether surgery will be required. Okay. And as of now, the club has not officially confirmed an ACL tear. We all know that's very serious. Although several reports said there are fears it might be, others say it could not be the one. But if the injury turns to be ACL tear, this is typically, it means he's going to be out for from 9 to 12 months. Okay, so this, the reason why I'm stressing about his injury is because there has been, not rumors, but there has been news speculations about Manchester selling him. But now, if he gets, no, obviously he got this injury, but it will depend on how long it takes for him to heal. But obviously, the offer of selling him is now off the table, because you can't just sell a player after he just sustained an injury. Okay. And now, if it's a less severe ligament injury, such as like MCL injury, the recovery is around 3 to 6 months. Okay, depending on the severity and treatment. But also, we have like less than 2 months to start, to actually close the transfer window. So it means now his offer, or teams that were offering money to buy him, like the deal is now off. Like this is off. And as I said, this is a major setback for Manchester United, because they lose an experienced midfielder, defensive midfielder. That's one, and it could also force the club back into the transfer market for another typical number six. Okay, and any plans to sell him this summer are now likely to hold until his recovery is clear. Okay, but on a brighter side for him, well, there is nothing really good about sustaining an injury during work, be it a player, be it anywhere, like anyone, a construction worker. It's never ideal, okay? But on his bright side, fortunately, Manchester United is going to receive a financial compensation from International Football Association. This is FIFA, following his injury, okay? And the program covers the player's salary during the period of absence due to injury within a maximum of 120,000 euros per week. Okay. So all this money is going to go obviously to United, but also it helps the player. It's not like, some like African countries, I can't be specific enough, but some African countries, once a player gets injured, unfortunately, sometimes their career is on hold, or they're not going to be top of their game. But you know, we're talking about an advanced competition. All right, now moving on. The Red Devil, that's Manchester United, is expected to have a busy transfer window following the appointment of Michael Carrick as the head coach. But then, I always come here. I always tell you they haven't confirmed anything. You see how they were quick to give an update on Ogate's injury? Yeah, they haven't confirmed anything, any speculations, any rumors about any signings. But okay, it does not mean they're not going to be busy at the market. All right. Now, Manchester United appear to finally close the door on standing pursuit of Victor Osimhen despite his explosive form in Turkey. According to reports in the UK, the Nigerian international remains one of the Europe's most feared marksmen, but financial realities at Old Trafford, as I keep telling you, they're dictating a different path for Red Devils' recruitment team. For years, the proposal of Osman leading the line at Old Trafford, has been a recurring dream for the United faithful. However, the dream appears to have reached the conclusion, okay? The 27-year-old has continued to dominate in the Super League, but the combined cost of transfer fee and his salary, now Manchester said, no, 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 we're not spending all that much money. But now, obviously, it could have been a good addition to United, but I don't think they're really looking to even explore that even further. Talking about a possible transfer in Manchester United, we all know Benjamin Sesko, Big Ben. Big Ben comes on off the bench, scores, revives Manchester United. But now, Barcelona in Spain is monitoring him. If I can I want to be petty and say, please leave our guy alone. Please leave him. He's happy where he is. He is looking to build a future with Michael Carrick. Okay. Well, I cannot really be so delusional and tell you if you start Benjamin Sesko, you're going to get the exact same result as substituting him. That's my personal opinion. I feel like he's a super sub. You bring in, you bring him in like last minute. He's going to do wonders for you. But once you start him, I don't think he has that capacity yet. Okay. Now, while the Osman doors close, another is nudging open in Catalonia. Well, Barcelona have reportedly identified Benjamin Sesko as a potential replacement for Robert Lewandowski, although Julian Alvarez remains the top priority for Hansi Flick and Deco. The difficult of negotiating, okay, with Atletico Madrid has led them to consider an alternative target, including Benjamin Sesko. But for the United part, for the Red Devils, they're not even entertaining the noise from Spain. They call it the noise. They're not, because they know they have a good guy on their hand at their hand, so they're not really worried, and they don't even think Benjamin is looking to transfer from England to Spain. No, he's not, on that wavelength. And reminding you, he joined Manchester United in 2025. That was last year, on 9th August. He was coming from RB Leipzig, okay, and then he signed a 5-year deal, which is going to run until 2030. And he was reported to be, his fee was reported to be around 76 million to 66 to 74 million with performance rated add-ons. Okay, so I don't think really Benjamin Sesko is looking to leave United after only playing for not even a year yet, because we're still in June. He joined last year in August. Okay, so you all home, you can settle and be like, yeah, we still have him. He's here. But now, talking about Barcelona and the links in Manchester United, let's talk about our boy Marcus Rashford. Let's talk about him. Okay, because his performance in the World Cup, as of now, it's really putting a target on him by many clubs, not only in Spain but also England. Tottenham is pursuing him. All these teams are pursuing him. But now it comes down to, what does Marcus Rashford want to do, and what does Manchester United want to do? Because if they say we are not going to have you back, now he will have an option of signing for another club. But does he want to go back to Spain? Because yesterday I was reading some news about him in Spain, and they're saying, well, the deal was off the table for Barcelona. Like, Barcelona let it expire. But now, after looking at him and seeing his performance in the World Cup, they're now, open for another, like a possibility of the actual, him coming, a permanent move. How they're going to do that? Dealing with United, because yeah, that's his product. That's United's product. Now, you see how sometimes your future is not really like determined until it's really determined. Marcus Rashford, no one wanted him really. If okay, not wanting him sounds really bad, but no one wanted to sign him on a permanent deal. Okay, he was loaned, and he found himself in Barcelona, and then Barcelona was like, you know what, your year is done, and we're done with you. You know, we're done. But now his performance in the World Cup is proving them wrong. Okay. Now Rashford's future remains a major walking point. Okay, following his loan spell at Camp Nou, that's in Barcelona. Why he opted not to they opted not to make his stay permanent. Tottenham have emerged as a serious suitor, and there are some news that really confirm Marcus not wanting to join Tottenham. Okay, so for him, it's either United, because he would proudly come back to United. But the way he left, uh-uh. And Rashford is understood to prefer a return to United first team or another move abroad, not in England. That's an England boy. He's English. Like, that guy, born and raised, played for Manchester United like how many years of his life, and he's tasted the outside, weather, the sweetness of Spain, anywhere. He could move to Italy, he could move anywhere else, but it said that he does not want to come back to England unless it's United. Okay. And with this being even a point of contention, okay, United does not want to, like, the team does not want to let him like really leave like that, because also United is not the best team right now to say Rashford cannot be in our roster, in our squad. Okay, they're not the ones to talk. All right, now Rashford's loan spell with Barcelona has finished, with the Giants deciding to trigger the 26 million buy option in the loan deal with Manchester United by June 15th deadline. Okay, now the door has opened for clubs to try to sign Rashford, who, according to Athletic, has a release clause of 40 million US dollars in his contract at Manchester United. Now, as I was saying, they all want Marcus Rashford. They all, they're seeing his performance. They're tempted. But what does Marcus want to do? All right. Now, our occurring point, Mateus Fernandez. We keep talking about this guy. We keep, like, bringing him up in the transfer news regarding Manchester United. Now it's being said that United is refusing to back away from their pursuit of Mateus Fernandez, even though the fee that is being required by West Ham is a bit unreasonable to United, basing on them being relegated last season. All right. At one point, the figures at United saw Fernandez as a market opportunity. Yeah. And there was a feeling West Ham United could be forced to part ways with their midfielder at a reasonable fee following their relegation. Okay. But now, Tottenham Hotspur's willingness to pay a premium for Fernandez has allowed Hamas to remain firm on the 85 million evaluation. What does this mean? It means West Ham is looking at this. It's like, okay, a move to United could be beneficial to Fernandez and his career. Okay, but how a move to Tottenham could be a good thing for us. Like we could have money, but before Tottenham showed interest, they were like, okay, we're asking for 85 million US dollars, and Manchester is not willing to pay. But we cannot just let them or tell them to go to back away. Yeah, but now we have another option. All right, but now again, we all know, we've seen it, we've seen transfers come to fruition. It's always about what the player wants. If Mateus, just like Rashford, wants to play for United, he's going to lower his standards, or he's going to lower his expectations. Somehow meet in the middle, on the middle ground. Okay, now let's go to Mason Mount, and I think we'll finish our episode after this. Mason Mount transfer truth, as reports claim Ruben Amorim wants to sign him. Um, Taking him to Italy. A report from Italy claimed Manchester United midfielder Mason Mount has been offered to Milan, or AC Milan, depending on what you want to call it, in the transfer window. There has been no contact between Milan and Mason Mount's camp, but reports reports claim, where there is smoke, there is fire. Reports are claiming that now Ruben Amorim, who was his manager last year, now wants to take him. Okay, former United head coach Ruben Amorim was recently appointed by Milan, and he was a huge admirer of Mason Mount when he was back in Manchester United. Okay, but then the 27-year-old, you know, is expected to stay put in Manchester United and try to find sometimes, sometimes when players are not like playing consistently, they are not like the main dog. Sometimes they try to look for exits to go in clubs where they will pay. So we have two types of players. I've met two types of players in my life. People who care so much about the revenue, the money, what the career brings. And then there are people who say, you know what, instead of sitting and only earning money on the bench, let me find a team that is not offering so much. They're offering me enough to sustain me, but also they're boosting my career. Okay. Because you can never get a call up when you're always on the bench. You can never get a national call up. That's the national team call up when you're always on the bench. So we have all like those two kinds of people. And I don't think Mason Mount is really looking to boost his. Okay, well, I'm not going to speak for him, but you can judge by someone's demeanor. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm still here at United. Sometimes I get time of play, I play. When when the coach tells me to come on, I'll come and I'll give my all. But maybe life is easier at United, also that factor. And another set of players are those people who be like, okay, where can I settle with my family and it will be easier for me. So I don't know if that fits into what the team has to offer as in like financial gains. But yeah, that's that. All right. Now, before I leave or before I close on this chapter for today, for Monday, I wanted to me and you guys to rate, because we have Manchester United players in World Cup, yeah, and where like the doors are closing in, the walls are closing in, the World Cup is getting to an interesting stage. But so far, I want us to rate our Manchester United players in World Cup. How about that? Like, what do you think? Wow, because I feel like yes, we're excited they're playing in the World Cup. Yes, well, we have some friendlies coming up. They won't be able to compete in those, which is even okay because now they're participating in the World Cup. Obviously, they're doing trainings, and we have none called or people who didn't get a call up still at the club. Um, the Maguires. The other time I was watching a game with one of my friends. My girlfriend, she doesn't really watch football like that. She just watches it because her man, likes football. And then she was trying to describe to, she was trying to describe Maguire. And then she could ask, she was like, this guy who always scores against himself. Like, he has like a funny looking head, a big head. It's as if, so I was like, who I couldn't even for the better living of me, figure out who she was talking about. And we found out it was Harry Maguire. Harry Sir Maguire. And you lot in the comments who doesn't like Maguire, please, please, that guy, yes, he does score. He like we have a lot of own goals. Sometimes he defends and he doesn't know what to defend from. Sometimes he finds himself scoring in our net. Yes, but sometimes there is a time there is a time when he plays very good and saves us. Okay. Anyways, getting back to the point, the preseason is coming up and we are waiting for that. We're going to be reporting on that. And also, as I said, we are going to come back here rating our Manchester United players in the World Cup. And that's it for today. I had a lot of fun talking to you guys because I missed you. It has been 2 days of the weekend. I hope to see you tomorrow.